My name is Sophie Martinez, and I'm 29 years old. If you had accomplished anything meaningful, I wouldn't need to explain you to strangers. My mother spoke those words directly to my face at Thanksgiving dinner, 31 relatives witnessing every syllable. She'd been delivering variations of this performance for 7 years straight. The dropout, the failure, the daughter unworthy of mention in polite conversation. What nobody at that table understood was that the daughter they'd collectively erased had constructed something extraordinary in the silence they'd forced upon her. That evening, Truth walked through the door uninvited. This begins much earlier, with a 2 a.m. phone call and a decision that destroyed everything I thought I knew. March 2017, junior year at Yale studying computer science, maintaining a 3.7 GPA through pure determination and caffeine. My phone buzzed at 2:04 a.m. on a Tuesday. Mrs. Chen, my grandmother's neighbor from Bridgeport. Sophie, honey, it's Linda. She collapsed in her kitchen. Ambulance just departed. I was pulling on clothes before she finished talking. Called my mother first. 5 rings. What, Sophie? It's 2 a.m. Grandmother had a stroke. Mom, she's at St. Vincent's. Silence. Then a sigh carrying inconvenience, not concern. She's elderly, Sophie. These things happen. I have depositions tomorrow morning. Contact your sister. Click. No questions about grandmother's condition, just abandonment. Called Melissa next. She answered faster but delivered identical results. Sophie, I cannot. Bar exam preparation. Mom will destroy me if I fall behind. 4 hours driving alone through darkness. No coffee, no music, just highway asphalt and the sound of my own breathing. St. Vincent's ICU held my grandmother Ruth, tubes threading through her arms, oxygen mask covering her face, left side completely paralyzed. The woman who'd taught me bicycle riding, who'd braided my hair every Sunday while my parents navigated their separation, looked foreign in that hospital bed. She opened her eyes, reached for my hand with her functioning right side, squeezed once. She whispered something through the oxygen mask. 1 sentence, quiet, meant only for me. I'll share what she said eventually. It matters enormously. Standing in that fluorescent room, I understood with crystal clarity that nobody else would come. Grandmother Ruth required 6 to 12 months of intensive rehabilitation. Physical therapy 3 times weekly. Assistance with eating, bathing, transferring from bed to wheelchair. Hospital social worker handed me pamphlets for home care services, $42 hourly rates. Ruth's Social Security barely covered rent and medications. Visited my academic advisor Monday morning, Professor Martinez, kind man with wire-rimmed glasses and perpetual coffee stains. Take leave of absence, he suggested. You've earned it. Return when possible. We both signed paperwork, packed my dormitory into 4 boxes, drove back to Bridgeport, called my mother that afternoon. I'm taking leave. Grandmother needs full-time care. The line went silent. Not shocked silence. Calculating silence. Don't inform anyone in the family, she commanded. What? I refuse to let them think we're incapable of handling our problems. You understand how people gossip. But it's truth, Mom. Her voice flattened completely. Truth is, you're quitting college. That's all anyone needs to know. I stood in Ruth's kitchen, watching her sleep through the doorway in the rented hospital bed. Her left hand curled against blankets like autumn leaves. I wanted to fight, wanted to scream that I wasn't quitting. I was choosing. There's a profound difference. But Ruth needed calm, needed me present, not screaming at a woman who'd already written the narrative. My mother immediately began crafting the first draft of a lie she'd maintained for 7 years. 4th of July barbecue at Aunt Carol's house in Glastonbury. 20-something people. Hamburgers, citronella candles, children running through sprinklers. Almost skipped it. But Ruth wanted to see family. And I couldn't refuse a woman who'd spent 3 months relearning fork usage. Arrived 40 minutes late from Ruth's afternoon stretching exercises. Pushed her wheelchair through the back gate, felt the atmospheric shift immediately. People stared too long, then looked away too quickly. Aunt Carol approached first, hand on my arm. "Honey, are you managing? Your mother explained everything." Glanced across the yard. Mother stood by the drink station, dabbing eyes with napkins, surrounded by 3 aunts. She caught my gaze, looked down at her plate. "That's not exactly accurate," I began. "Sophie, please." Mother's voice carried across the patio, soft and trembling. "And not here, not today." Every head turned toward me, like I was creating drama, like I was making a grieving mother cry at a family gathering. I closed my mouth. Ruth squeezed my wrist from her wheelchair, didn't speak, didn't need to. 6 months later, Ruth grew stronger. Still wheelchair-bound, but transferring independently, making tea, arguing with television programs. She was returning to herself, and I was constructing something too. Quietly, after Ruth's bedtime, 2 a.m. kitchen table sessions, online courses in Python, JavaScript, data architecture. No degree, but I had time, discipline, and a kitchen table functioning as office space. Caught a break with Ridgeline Tech in Hartford. Small software company posted an internship requiring no bachelor's degree. Applied, got called back, interviewed with Paula, the hiring manager. She smiled, said, "You're exactly the self-starter we need." Offer letter arrived Thursday. Starting Monday, Friday afternoon, my phone rang. Paula's voice had changed completely. "Miss Martinez, I apologize. We've received concerning information. We're rescinding the offer." My chest went cold. "Well, what information?" "A family member called, expressed reliability concerns. Policy requires us to withdraw the offer." I knew before she finished speaking. Drove to Mother's house that evening. She was watering rosemary on the front porch. "Did you call my internship?" She didn't flinch. "And I don't understand what you're implying." "Someone from our family contacted HR, told them I was unreliable." She set down the watering can, looked at me like a child demanding candy after being refused. "Maybe they simply didn't want you. Consider that possibility, Sophie. Not everyone hands out opportunities." She went inside. Screen door closed behind her. Rock bottom looks like this when nobody's watching. I was 24, living in a studio apartment in Bridgeport. $650 monthly rent. Radiator clanking all night. Window-facing brick wall. Freelancing web projects for small businesses. Bakery in Milford, landscaping company in Shelton, dentist's office needing online booking. $15 hourly, sometimes $20 if clients didn't haggle. Ruth's medications alone cost $380 monthly after Medicare gaps. My savings account held $1,140, decreasing every month. But the worst part was Thanksgiving. Went annually because Ruth loved seeing family, both granddaughters, even if only one received love back. Every year, same performance from Mother. Sad sighs when people asked about me. Proud glowing when mentioning Melissa. Patting my hand across table saying, "We're grateful you're here, honey." Like I was a charity case she fostered. Relatives weren't cruel, just misinformed. They believed the first storyteller because she cried hardest. January 2019, sitting before my laptop, side project I'd developed for months. Logistics management tool for small freight companies. Testing with a trucking company in New Haven. Owner said it saved 11 hours weekly. I examined it, really examined it. It was genuinely good. Something shifted inside me. Made a decision at 1 a.m. with radiator clanking and cold coffee beside my laptop. I was building this properly. Filed LLC paperwork next week. Chose the name Meridian Solutions. Registered under Parker. Ruth's maiden name. Sophie Parker, CEO of Meridian Solutions. No connection to Sophie Martinez. Family disappointment. Didn't hide from shame. Hid because visibility had cost me once before. Wouldn't give anyone that weapon again. Ruth knew everything. Told her over breakfast one morning. Scrambled eggs, wheat toast, her blood pressure medication beside orange juice. I'm starting a company, Grandma. A real one. She looked at me over glasses. About time. I can't tell anyone. Not Mom. Not Melissa. Good. It might fail. She set down her fork. And it might succeed. Stop talking. Start building. 2 weeks later, she called me into her bedroom, handed me a check. $3,200. Everything she had. Grandma, this is your entire savings. I understand what it is. I can't accept this. She took my hand, grip weaker on left side but firm enough for business. I didn't raise you to be small, Sophie. Take the money, buy whatever computers need buying, don't you dare pay me back. 3 years of building, year 1, 3 clients, all small freight companies in Connecticut and Massachusetts. Drove personally to each office, installed software, trained dispatchers. Revenue $48,000, enough to maintain operations, keep Ruth's prescriptions filled, reinvest everything else. Year 2, 17 clients through word-of-mouth recommendations between truck drivers. Hired Marcus, remote developer from Philadelphia. Revenue $310,000. Year 3, 82 clients across 14 states, 6 employees. Revenue $2.1 million. Venture capital fund from Boston called about raising investment rounds. Through all 3 years, attended Thanksgiving because Ruth requested it, because she loved gatherings even when they didn't return that love. Every time, identical ritual. Still no degree, Mother would announce to listeners. Melissa just made junior partner. We're so proud. Year 3. Thanksgiving. Aunt Carol's daughter-in-law asked directly. So what exactly do you do, Sophie? Before I could respond, Mother answered. She does computer things. Freelance, I think. Never looked at me. Ruth caught my eye from across table, gave smallest nod only I could read. Not yet. Year 4 accelerated everything. Phone call from San Francisco, a number that made me sit on apartment floor. Forbes called about featuring Meridian Solutions in their 30 under 30 list. Publication date, November 27th, Thanksgiving Day. Didn't plan this timing, just cosmic alignment between their schedule and mine. I participated. Thanksgiving morning, stood before bathroom mirror at 7:15. Gray sweater, jeans, boots, no jewelry except small pearl studs Ruth gave me. Looked identical to every family gathering for 7 years. Unremarkable by design. Picked up Ruth at 8, drove to parents' a house in Glastonbury. Cars already lined the street. Inside, house hummed with voices. Laughter, Motown playlist Mother used annually. She saw me, smiled without warmth. Oh, Sophie, you brought grandmother. How nice. She returned to Aunt Carol without pause. Sophie still lives near grandmother, gives her something to do. Father appeared from kitchen, wine glass in hand, squeezed my shoulder. Hey, kiddo. Then disappeared. Dinner called at 4 p.m. sharp. 31 people around assembled tables. Mother stood, lifted glass. Thank everyone for being here. This year is special. Beamed at Melissa. Melissa and Craig are engaged. Applause. Melissa, you've made us so proud. Junior partner at 31. Beautiful engagement. Everything a mother dreams of. Pause for effect. Gaze drifted down table until finding me. And Sophie. Tilted head. Pity perfected. We're grateful you're here. Keep hoping next year will be your year. Mrs. Henderson, Craig's grandmother, leaned toward me. What do you do, Sophie? Before breathing, Mother answered. Sophie is figuring things out. Left college a few years ago. Lowered voice for discretion. Loud enough for half table to hear. It's been a journey. Pressed journey like dressing a wound publicly. Ruth's voice cut through clean. Sophie is more than you've been told. Laughter stopped. Mother's smile tightened. Mother, please, let's enjoy dinner. Ruth said nothing more, but her eyes held a countdown only I understood. Under table, felt my phone vibrate. Somewhere in that room, at least 3 other phones buzzed simultaneously. After dinner, scattered into living room, coffee, pie, comfortable noise of people settling, standing near bookshelf, holding untouched tea, when I heard Mother's voice. She sat on sofa beside Mrs. Henderson, leaning confidentially but projecting to 10-foot radius. Between us, Margaret. I sometimes wonder if Sophie dropped out due to mental health issues. Fingers tightened around cup. We've tried helping. She refuses. Hand to chest. I don't say this cruelly. A mother carries that weight alone. Set tea down. Walked over. Shoes quiet on carpet. Mom, I need you to stop. She looked up, startled or performing startled. Sophie, I was just... You were telling a stranger I have mental health issues in front of our family. Kept voice level. That's not concern. That's cruelty. Eyes glistened on command. I worry about you. Father's voice from corner, half question. Diana, maybe. Kevin, don't. She looked back at me. Mask slipped briefly. Cold certainty underneath. If you had done something with your life, I wouldn't have to explain you to people. 30 people. That sentence landed on all of them. From her wheelchair, Ruth spoke clearly. That's enough. Then Uncle Rob's phone buzzed, and everything changed. Rob pulled phone reflexively, glanced at screen, stopped. Thumb hovered, mouth opened slightly. Read again. Watched from across room. Didn't know what alert said, but his face changed, color draining then flooding back. Sophie. Voice quiet, almost whisper, but room was silent after Mother's last sentence. In that silence, his single word carried like gunshot. Looked at him. He looked at me. Then Ruth. Back at phone. Is this you? Uncle Frank moved first. What is it, Rob? Rob turned phone around. Frank took it, read, eyebrows climbed. Good Lord. Aunt Carol already pulling out her phone, thumbs moving fast. 3 seconds, 5. Oh my God. Turned screen toward table. Photo I'd taken 2 weeks ago in New Haven studio, only professional portrait ever sat for because Forbes required it. My face, my name, headline about acquisition worth $47 million. One by one, heads turned. They looked at phones, then at me. Mother stood in center, hadn't moved. Looked from face to face, trying to read the room, find current to steer. What? What is everyone looking at? No one answered. Melissa reached for Craig's phone. Read, hand dropped to lap. Set phone face down, stared at carpet. Father walked over, held out his phone screen up. She took it, read, watched her face move through 3 stages. Confusion, shock, then something I'd never seen in 29 years, fear. This isn't real, she said. Uncle Rob stood. It's on Forbes, Diana, TechCrunch and Bloomberg. Very real. Mother looked at me. You built a company worth $47 million. Yes. And you didn't tell us. Even now, standing in wreckage of her narrative, she made it about herself, what she hadn't been told, what she'd been denied, kept voice steady. You never asked what I was building, only ever told people what I wasn't. Complete silence followed. Mrs. Henderson turned to Mother. Didn't raise voice, didn't need to. You told me she had mental health issues 10 minutes ago. Mother's face went white. I didn't mean it like, I think you meant exactly that. Realization spread through room like slow wave. Not just that I'd succeeded, but that Mother had lied systematically for 7 years to every person in this house. Mother tried recovering, straightened shoulders, tilted chin. She could have told us. She chose to shut us out. No, Diana. Ruth's voice from wheelchair, not loud, not angry, just absolute. You shut her out. Ruth continued, perfectly still. Sophie left school to care for me. I had a stroke. Everyone should have known that 7 years ago. But you told them she quit because she was lazy. You told them she was disgrace. Because you were ashamed. Not of her. Of yourself. You refused to help me. Your own mother. Sophie was 22. She drove 4 hours alone in darkness. When she tried telling truth, you cried in front of them, made her the villain. From the corner, my father spoke. It's true. Turned to look at him, standing by window, hands at sides. All of it. 2 sentences from a man who hadn't defended me in 7 years hit the room like detonation. My mother's hands shook, but she kept standing. Okay, fine. I should have been more supportive, but I never hurt her. You called my internship. 4 words. Room went still. Opened my phone. Photo I'd kept of printed email Ruth had saved 2 years ago. Handed it to Rob. He adjusted glasses. Read aloud. I'm writing out of concern for my daughter, Sophie Martinez. She has a history of unreliability, and I would hate for your company to be put in difficult position. I love my daughter, but I believe in honesty. He set phone down. You sabotaged your own daughter. I was protecting her. From what? From succeeding? Mother sat down, not gracefully, just dropped. Cushion sank under her weight. She cried real tears this time, ugly and unpracticed, sound of someone whose stage collapsed. Ruth's voice came steady. People aren't looking down on us because of Sophie, Diana. They're looking down on us because of you, right now, in this room. I stood up. I think I need air. Walked to Ruth, unlocked wheelchair wheels, pushed her through living room past 30 silent people, through front door onto porch. November air hit my face, cold and clean. Next morning, phone rang. Melissa. Holiday Inn Express off Interstate. Hadn't stayed at parents' house in 3 years. Ruth still asleep in second bed. Phone rang at 8:47. Melissa's voice was different, stripped of polish. I need to tell you something. Waited. When I knew about the internship call, Mom told me she handled it, said you weren't ready for real job. And I didn't question it because if I questioned her, I'd become you. I was terrified of that. Silence held 7 years of Sunday dinners and unreturned texts. I don't know what to do with your apology, Melissa, but I hear it. That afternoon, drove back to pick up Ruth's overnight bag. House quiet, decorations from yesterday still up. Mother sat at kitchen table, no makeup, wearing old Yale sweatshirt. Father beside her, untouched coffee mug. Sophie, can we talk? Stood in doorway. I'm listening. I made mistakes. But you have to understand, I grew up with nothing. People look down on our family. I wanted us to look right. And I wasn't right enough. I'm not fighting you, but I need to be clear. I'm not coming back to this table until you do 3 things. What 3 things? 1, tell every person at that table the real reason I left school. Truth, not your version. 2, delete family group chat. Let people contact me directly. 3, start therapy. Not for me, for you. She looked at me long time. And if I don't? Then this is our last real conversation. And that's your choice, not mine. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, Uncle Rob wrote blog piece. No names, no locations, just essay titled, When Families Silence the Wrong Person, about households that appoint scapegoats and golden children, how outsiders never question which is which. Shared over 6,000 times. Aunt Carol called directly. Said she was taking over Christmas. Your mother won't be hosting. We think it's best someone else handles it. Meridian acquisition closed in January, $47 million. Signed documents in San Francisco conference room with Bay Bridge view. Part of deal. I stayed as VP of product for 2-year earnout. Relocated to Boston. Found 2-bedroom in Cambridge. Ruth moved with me. Hired full-time aide. Ruth's room had bay window overlooking small garden. "This is nicer than house I raised your mother in," she said one afternoon. Ironic. People ask if I've forgiven my parents. Honest answer is complicated. Some days I see my mother as woman who grew up poor, mocked by relatives, built identity around family appearance. When I didn't fit picture, she didn't know how to love me without erasing me. Other days, I'm in grocery store, hear mother say, "I'm proud of you," to her daughter, and I have to leave the aisle. Both halves, same person. My mother completed 4 therapy sessions by Christmas, called 3 relatives to correct record. Father wrote 1-page letter. I should have answered every time. Don't have reason good enough. Only truth, which is I was afraid of your mother and chose her silence over yours. That's my failure. Here's what I learned. Love without boundaries is just door without lock. Anyone can enter, take whatever they want, call it family while doing it. Don't hate my mother, hate what she did. Learning slowly to separate the two. Won't sit at table where my name is only spoken with pity. Boundaries aren't punishment. They're architecture. Building shape of relationship I can survive. If you're listening and something feels familiar, parent who rewrites your story, sibling who gets spotlight, family that made you cautionary tale, you don't have to build $47 million company to prove worth. I built Meridian because my grandmother handed me $3 $200 and said, "I didn't raise you to be small." Built it because silence was only space they left me, decided to fill it with something real instead of bitter. Your worth isn't company you build or degree you earn. Your worth is fact you kept going when no one clapped, when no one asked, when no one believed. You can love someone and refuse to let them define you. Can honor where you came from without letting it decide where you're going. Can walk away from table where your name is only spoken with pity. It's February now. Ruth turned 81 last week. Threw her party, 12 people, my Cambridge apartment, chocolate cake from Corner Bakery. Uncle Rob wore ridiculous party hat 3 hours straight. Melissa came alone. No ring yet. Brought gardenias, Ruth's favorite flower. She stayed briefly. But walking in with those flowers, kind of detail you know from paying attention longer than you've admitted. Mother wasn't there. Not because I didn't invite her. I did. She said she wasn't ready. For first time, I believed her because not ready is honest, and honest is where we start. Ruth sat at table head, looked around room at faces, flowers, ridiculous hat, toddler with frosting on chin, looked at me, smiled. "This is good table," she said. She's right. Built it not with money, not with revenge, with patience, silence, and people who showed up when no one watched. My name is Sophie Martinez. Some people know me as Sophie Parker. I'm 29, and I'm done being someone else's cautionary tale.